The historical drama Oppenheimer was the big winner at last night's Oscars, scooping 7 awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor.
Its rival at the box office last summer, though, Barbie, did take home 1 award and still managed to steal the show, as our entertainment correspondent Colin Patterson can tell us.
Oppenheimer.
These were the Oppenheimer Oscars.
Cillian Murphy.
The biographical film about the father of the atomic bomb won 7, with Cillian Murphy becoming the first ever Irish-born winner of Best Actor.
For better or for worse, we're all living in Oppenheimer's world, so I would really like to dedicate this to the peacemakers everywhere.
Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer.
Christopher Nolan was Best Director.
Movies are just a little bit over 100 years old. I mean, imagine being there 100 years into painting or theatre. We don't know where this incredible journey is going from here.
Robert Downey Jr.!
While Robert Downey Jr. won his first Oscar more than 30 years after he was first nominated.
I'd like to thank my terrible childhood and the Academy, in that order.
And while Oppenheimer won the big awards, the night's standout moment belonged to the other half of the Barbenheimer phenomenon.
I'm just kidding, anywhere else I'd be.
Ryan Gosling bringing the Kenergy with Slash from Guns N' Roses. And Barbie did win 1 Oscar, Best Song, Billie Eilish becoming the youngest ever double Oscar winner at the age of 22.
Emma Stone.
There was a second Best Actress Oscar for Emma Stone at the age of 35 for the twisted fantasy Poor Things.
My dress is broken. I think it happened during I'm Just Ken.
And Davine Joy Randolph was Best Supporting Actress for her role as a grieving mother in The Holdovers.
I thank you for seeing me. Have a blessed night. Thank you so much.
While 20 Days in Mariupol, about the Russian invasion of Ukraine, was Best Documentary.
This is the first Oscar in the Ukrainian history.
Talking points from the show included a naked John Cena presenting Best Costumes, an appearance from Anatomy of a Fall's canine star Messi the dog. While earlier, on the red carpet, the US media personality Liza Koshy took a nasty tumble. But styled it out. The Oscars are over. It was Oppenheimer's night, but Barbie once again won hearts and minds. Colin Patterson, BBC News.
That was the moment.
That was the moment.
Definitely
the moment. Well, the moment continues, doesn't it?
It does, because Emma Vardy is on the Vanity Fair red carpet for us this morning. Emma, I know the ceremony is one thing, but now it really is all about the party. Who have you seen? What stories can you tell us?
Forget the ceremony. This is where you really want to be. We've been watching a stream of celebrities coming along this red carpet tonight. They've hot-footed it from Hollywood over to here in Beverly Hills, and the atmosphere is great because this is where all the tension has gone, all that suspense is over. People are here to let their hair down and celebrate. As we were just hearing there, look, it was a big night for Oppenheimer, wasn't it? It was predicted to do really well. It did clean up in all of those big categories. But look, for any Barbie fans watching, and that was such a big hit at the box office last summer, wasn't it? There will be a bit of disappointment tonight because it had those 8 nominations and yet only walked away with 1 award. But it was one very special award that went to Billie Eilish for her song What Was I Made For? And I've been watching her perform it beautifully throughout awards season. She performed it again beautifully tonight. And of course, it's not just the winners here celebrating. They get to rub shoulders with all sorts of other people from the movie industry and from the music industry. And we managed to grab a quick chat about that Billie Eilish track with none other than Kylie Minogue.
I think Billie, I think she deserved that. It's, we hear What Was I Made For and going, of course, but to think of that entrance and that, to write that song and to deliver that song, I think it's beautiful.
look, all the stars steal the headlines, don't they? But the Oscars is also a night to recognise the work that goes on behind the scenes, all that technical kind of achievement. And there was wins for several Brits tonight, one of them Tarn Willers, who did the sound for Zone of Interest. Of course, sound a very important part of any kind of movie production. And so it was his big night, and we managed to grab a chat with him holding his trophy.
I can't tell you on broadcast television what it feels like to win an Oscar, unless you've got a bleep machine with you. It's pretty crazy. It's surreal, and it's an honour. I'm humbled. I'm humbled. Everywhere I go now, people go, congratulations, congratulations. I'm humbled.
So I think anybody who walked in there tonight with one of those trophies is going to be having a very good time about now. And honestly, my eyes are dazzled from the things I've seen on this red carpet over the last few hours. There's been sequins, sparkles, beautiful bodies, beautiful faces. It's quite dazzling to watch, an incredible place to be.
Emma, thanks very much indeed. We will be back with you throughout the morning. All the updates from that party here on Breakfast. I wonder how many manipulated images we will be seeing on Instagram today from the event that is just happening now in Hollywood. Biggest stars walking the red carpet last night for a night of glitz and glamour at, of course, the Oscars.
Although the main winners weren't really a massive surprise, there were certainly some standout moments, and delighted to say that to talk us through them, our entertainment correspondent Colin Patterson is here.
Hello.
Dickie go on looking super
Disappointed
smart.
you're not wearing sparkly pink.
Well, in the digitally modified version I am.
Are you feeling the Kennedy?
What a night that was.
What a night. Have you had any sleep at all?
None.
None, right, OK, fine.
But an Oscar night you don't.
OK, no.
And there we have Oppenheimer, as we thought it would, dominating the night, 7 wins. To give you an idea of just how big a night this is for Oppenheimer, the last film to win Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, 1959's Ben-Hur. That's how rare it is to do.
It's about as long as Ben-Hur as well, isn't
yes.
it? It's one of those films. And so, were they expecting to do quite that well?
Well, they did actually have some dreams of challenging the all-time Oscars record of the 11 wins. They were nominated in 13 different categories. But early on, we were seeing how well Poor Things was doing in some of the more technical categories, the behind-the-scenes work being rewarded. But when it came to the big ones, it all came back to Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan. Well, what was interesting is there's lots of sort of all-time movie greats winning their first Oscar, because Christopher Nolan had never won an Oscar. He'd been nominated for Inception, Memento, Dunkirk, but he'd never won. Cillian Murphy, he had never won either. Robert Downey Jr. had been nominated first time 31 years ago for Chaplin, and was nominated for Tropic Thunder as well, which I don't think he talks about so much. But he won Best Supporting Actor for playing sort of Oppenheimer's enemy in the film. But then Cillian Murphy, who people probably in Britain still best know for Peaky Blinders, is now an Oscar-winning actor and the first ever Irish-born actor to win Best Actor at the Oscars, which is quite... You could see how much it meant to him on stage. Here's part of his acceptance speech.
I'm a very proud Irish man standing here tonight, so... you know, we made a film about the man who created the atomic bomb, and for better or for worse, we're all living in Oppenheimer's world, so I would really like to dedicate this to the peacemakers everywhere.
Yeah, getting quite emotional on stage there, Cillian Murphy. So Oppenheimer was half off Barbenheimer, the big cinematic event of last year. Barbie only won 1 Oscar last night, where Billie Eilish became the youngest person ever to win 2 Oscars at the age of 22, because she won for her Bond theme. Now she's winning for a song from Barbie. And I think the moment of the Oscars was Ryan Gosling doing I'm Just Ken, being joined by Slash from Guns N' Roses. We've got it for you, and if we stick with it long enough, we will see him doing the all-star sing-along with the audience.
I'm just Ken, anywhere else I've been to. Is it my destiny to live a life of opportunity? I'm just Ken, where I see love, she sees a friend. What will it take for her to see the man behind the tent and fight for me? I'm just Ken, and I'm enough, and I'm brave as the wind star. So hey,
But I can't hear that song without thinking of the Matt Hancock version. Remember?
No.
Does
he do with Slash as well?
Yeah, he did it on social media, yeah, and mimed along to it. But yeah, he'd have known the words too, I'm sure. But what a moment that is.
Brilliant. But of course, not the winning song.
No, it's not. You can have 2 songs nominated for the film. It was nominated, but losing out to Billie Eilish. But in that clip as well, there's a brief moment where he's singing with Emma Stone, who would go on to win Best Actress, possibly the night's biggest upset. A lot of people had tipped Lily Gladstone to become the first Native American actress to win Best Actress. She was pipped by Emma Stone, who won for the 2nd time in 7 years because she'd won for La La Land. This time it was for Poor Things, this Yorgos Lanthimos fantastical fantasy film, which is pretty out there. And Emma Stone plays this woman who has a baby's brain, her own baby's brain, implanted into her head, and plays a woman from birth right into adulthood. So it's an incredible performance for an actress. But as you'll hear from her acceptance speech, singing along to Ryan Gosling, I'm Just Ken, took its toll.
My dress is broken. I think it happened during I'm Just Ken. I know I have to wrap up, but I really just want to thank my family, my mom, my brother, Spencer, my dad, my husband, Dave. I love you so much. And most importantly, my daughter, who's going to be 3 in 3 days and has turned our lives technicolor. I love you bigger than the whole sky, my girl. So thank you so much. Don't look at the back of my dress.
Don't look at the back of my dress. I mean, well, sum it up for us, Colin. As an Oscars, it was not many surprises.
No.
But a good night?
Yeah, by the way, we'll quickly point out that is a Taylor Swift reference. She was saying about her child as well. That's a Taylor Swift lyric because they're big besties. So, yeah.
Oh, clever.
Yeah, to sum up the night, it's always disappointing when what you think going to win wins.
You want more shocks?
We thought from a long time. Emma Stone did give us the big shock of the night, and not just her dress unravelling as well. But yeah, I wasn't expecting when I was putting together my report on the Oscars for it to include a naked John Cena and a clapping dog. So
well,
when that happens, you know.
I think we need to see more of the clapping dog. Let's see if we can find more clapping dog.
Messi the dog from Anatomy of a Fall has been a star this award season. They took the dog to the Oscar nominees' luncheon. Afterwards, people complained to the Academy that it was illegal campaigning because the dog was so popular. It was stealing attention from other people. Messi got to the Oscars last night.
That was surely like fake dog legs clapping. No, yeah, surely.
What?
Thank you.
What?
Yes.
As you say, there's a few digitally enhanced things.
Yes, yes.
Colin, that's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. We'll bring you the pictures of Messi the dog and the winners from Crofts as well. We've got lots of winning dogs this morning.
Yes, we have.
A bit later in the programme. The historical drama Oppenheimer was the big winner, as expected, at last night's Oscars, scooping 7 awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor.
Its rival, at the box office at least, Barbie, took home 1 award but still managed to steal the show completely, as our entertainment correspondent Colin Patterson reports.
Well, we can go live to the red carpet in LA. Our correspondent Emma Vardy is at the Vanity Fair party. You've got it in, Emma. Who have you seen?
Oh my goodness, who haven't we seen? There's just been this dazzling sight of megastars coming along this red carpet this evening. Of course all the Oscar winners come in here and party, but you get such a mix of people partying under one roof. We've seen most of the Kardashians coming in, Paris Hilton, Nicolas Cage, Michael Douglas. We had a lovely chat with Kylie Minogue earlier on too, and some incredible outfits and quite a lot of flesh on display too. Now, of course, the Oscars is all very serious and those awards mean an awful lot, but this is where they get to let their hair down and party. And of course it's all about the big stars and the big directors, but this is also a night to honour the people who do the work behind the scenes, and Oppenheimer did really well there too. Of course it was a really complex, long movie, and the editing of that film was awarded, and we had a chat with Jennifer Lame. She won the editing award for Oppenheimer, and I asked her what it was like working on such a complex film and working with Christopher Nolan.
Chris makes it fun, and every day we just like take one day at a time and collaborate and experiment and have really thoughtful, interesting conversations. So it's actually an incredible experience.
Just quickly, I mean, it was such a dark subject behind that film.
Very dark, yes.
How did you grapple with that side of it without sort of forgetting the weight of what was behind it?
We would talk about it all the time, and obviously with what was going on in the world at the time, we would talk a lot about that and how scary everything was. And it was like working on a horror film, frankly. It was terrifying.
Of course, last year wasn't just about Oppenheimer at the cinema, was it? It was Barbie as well. That got so much love from fans at the cinema. It was a box office smash, but a different story when it came to the awards. And there will be some disappointment, I think, for Barbie fans because it only walked away with one trophy tonight. But I did see Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig going into the party, and they were still smiling.
Lots of smiles. How genuine the smiles are, we're not sure, but lots of smiles. Emma, thank you very much indeed. We're scanning the background there, aren't we? Looking for
see who we can see. No one that I could recognise. But I just think if you haven't seen it this morning, go online, have a look at that moment. Ryan Gosling singing about being Ken, I'm just Ken. It's the best thing, I think.
That was the joy they needed. It was quite an intense Oscar year, wasn't it?
And a little bit predictable, maybe. We kind of knew who was going to win. Or you could guess who was going to win.
So the light relief was welcome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Oppenheimer, as expected, was the big winner at last night's Oscars, scooping 7 awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor.
Its rival at the box office, Barbie, took home 1 award, but still managed to steal the show, as our entertainment correspondent Colin Patterson reports.
We're just talking about the dog. The clapping dog.
I just said I don't think dogs have hands. They have paws.
They do in Hollywood.
Yeah, they do. That one's definitely got
Let's go live
hands.
to the Vanity Fair red carpet party where Emma Vardy is still there. I'm trying to think, God, it's after midnight there, isn't it? How's it been?
Oh, just an average night for me. You know, I party like this all the time as LA correspondent, of course. Now, it's a really interesting night here because it's known as such an iconic party, the Vanity Fair Oscars after party, because you get this really interesting mix of people here. Of course, you get your serious movie heavyweights. So we've seen Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, Christopher Nolan coming down the red carpet, and then you're turning around and you're waving to Paris Hilton and the Kardashians. It's been so interesting to see these people coming down here, relaxing, getting ready to get on the dance floor. I can hear the thumping music from the dance floor right now. But let's talk about the other people who don't always make such big headlines, but they are also being awarded tonight with Oscars. And in the documentary category, the war in Ukraine got a win there for Mstislav Cherno, the war reporter from 20 Days in Mariupol, of course, the besieged city in the war on Ukraine.
I'm coming back to Ukraine. I will continue to report, but Ukraine is not the only country where important stories are happening and where people are suffering. So, again, this is helping to keep Mariupol, to keep the story of Mariupol, the story of Ukraine in everyone's attention, but also it gives us as journalists credibility to keep working in other places.
There was also some wins for people who do all that important work behind the scenes tonight as well. Some really interesting wins for the production and costume designers of Poor Things. And we spoke to Johnny Byrne, who is from Zone of Interest, the film which won Best International Film. And they won it for the sound production.
We learned about what happened in Auschwitz and through exploration we understood that we didn't want to show the visual horror of the atrocities, and we knew that we wanted to do it in sound only. So yeah, it was a learning process. There it is.
Well, you lot might all just be waking up this morning, but I tell you what, that party is going strong in there, and I think it will be going for a few more hours yet. So it's not good night just yet here.
We can't wait to see your selfies, Emma. Thank you very much indeed. It's time for glitz and glamour, because Oppenheimer was the big winner at the Oscars last night, scooping 7 awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor.
Its rival at the box office, Barbie, took home 1 award, but still managed to steal the show, as our entertainment correspondent Colin Patterson reports.
Well, I think
you can actually hear him saying what happened there.
What did happen?
I think he was supposed to announce the 10 nominated films. They would show all that.
Oh, I see.
And then he'd come back and go, and the Best Picture goes to the big dramatic moment, instead of which he just went, "My I see Oppenheimer." Although there is a fan theory, they had brought on Al Pacino to be an even bigger snub to Barbie, because in the film, Ken is obsessed with the Godfather films.
No.
More conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
We said it all went to plan, but there were other surprises as well. The clapping dog.
Yes, that was good. This was Messi from Anatomy of a Fall, who was really stealing the show there, I think, with this we don't think, I don't want to spoil it for you, but we don't think those were real paws. But it was still a great moment.
No, I don't think they were real paws, were they? I'm devastated.
Yeah, digitally enhanced is the sort of theme of the day. But John Cena as well, that was because it was the 50th anniversary of one of the most famous Oscar moments, when there was a streaker behind David Niven at the 1974 Oscars.
So that explains what he was doing.
Yeah.
I suspect he doesn't need an excuse. Like John, anytime. Colin, thank you very much indeed. Looking fantastic.
It's 9:15. That means it's time to get a last quick look at the headlines where you are.